Well, hey guys, it's Thorzax, and I'm putting together a little bit of a teaser video for later on. Um, this here is my K31 Swiss, and I've had this rifle for over 10 years. When they first started importing these into the United States, ammunition was not widely available for them, and I hand loaded, and there was a number of different um, recipes and things like that for the 75 by 55. And since it is a 30 caliber bullet, you can use the wide range of bullet weights in it. The rifle itself has a 1 in 11 twist, and the chamber dimensions that are in the K31 are extremely tight. I've heard it said in circles, maybe different blogs and stuff, that the K31 receiver was actually made by SIG and the barrels are made by Hammerly. I know one thing, this rifle's got it where it counts. Anyway, after I bought it, I went ahead and bought some Norma brass, and I went ahead and started hand loading for it. And one thing that I noticed about the Norma brass is I started getting a real bright ring around the head of the cartridge, and I wasn't shooting them really hot or anything like that, but I was having issues about case stretching. And so what I did is I went and ended up later buying some 75 by 55 brass from Graff and Son that became available a couple of years later, and I started loading that. I haven't had that issue ever since. Believe it or not, I got this rifle for $69 at Big Five. I mean, nobody wanted them. I mean, it was 75 by 55. There wasn't any ammo available for them, and most of them, in fact, almost all of them, showed real high wear on the stocks. On the butt stock right here, there was a number of different water blisters and that sort of thing that had set in through the years. This one here has a birch stock, and even though I sanded off the crests that were on the stock, I didn't really care. At the time, it was a $69 beater rifle that I was going to take out and just shoot, And but I wanted the stock to look nice, so I went ahead and took some 600 grit sandpaper, 400 grit sandpaper, and some steel wool, and I just kind of worked over the stock. I took the old finish off, and then I rubbed it out with some tung oil, and it really turned out pretty. This is the birch stock, and it just really turned out nice. Overall, the rifle, as you can see, it's all there. I mean, it has a little bit of blue wear because it's old, up here on the wings, of the front sight. But overall, a little touch-up bluing here and there. Really turned out really nice. The trigger on this rifle is just amazing. It breaks like a piece of glass. So anyway, where I wanted to go with this is that eventually, later on, I want to do a series of loadings for the 75 by 55 Swiss rifle, and I'm going to be involving two powders, 4064 and 4895, both IMR, and we'll take it out to the range. We'll shoot it for accuracy and see how it goes. So anyway, that's my up and coming project. It's kind of like a little teaser video. I want to wish everybody a happy new year. And next year, we'll go through some load development and start loading this thing up and take it out and do some shooting with it. Very enjoyable rifle to shoot. I don't really know the historical, aspects behind, the Swiss and, why they, claimed neutrality during World War II, and, also with the Swedes and that sort of thing. And I've heard in different forums and that sort of stuff that this is basically a coward's sword. Same thing with the Swedish rifles. They didn't get involved with the war. But, there's all kinds of different political reasons, whether it be academics or theologies, or they just couldn't afford it. Number of different reasons. One thing that I do think that was kind of a plus is that our airmen that took on battle damage in bombing World War II, if they could make it to Switzerland, they could land in Switzerland in a neutral country, and they wouldn't be tried or rounded up like POWs. So that was kind of that was a plus. So our airmen wouldn't be captured as POWs if they could make it to a neutral country, and luckily Switzerland was right there. So I don't really want to get into that. All I know is that the rifle shoots very well. And like I said, we'll do some load development for it, and we'll take it out and we'll start doing some shooting with it. Doesn't do any good just sitting there in my my gun safe. Believe it or not, the 1911 round itself, the 75-55 round itself, is a very accurate round. It's loaded up to about 2,700 feet per second. It's Berdan primed, though. That's the big kicker about this round. Even though that it's the brass is quality made, the bullet is quality made. If they boxer primed it, I mean, this surplus ammo would just be selling off the shelf. Some people say it's relatively cheap to buy. They'll buy a case of it and they'll shoot it through their rifle, and that's fine if you have that sort of money. But me, I can hand load this for a quarter of that amount, and then just keep some military ammunition just for GP. So anyway, this is Thor Zax wishing you a happy new year, and we'll get back to it. So you guys have a safe new year, and thank you for tuning in, and like and subscribe.